Well, it's been over a year since my wife and I quit drinking for 30 days. That actually turned into 60 days because we ended up feeling so good. But while we felt great during that time, alcohol just kind of crept its way back into our lives. So over the last year, been part of our weekly drinking through the week, drinking on the weekends kind of thing. And then recently with the holidays and New Year's, well, for the first time ever, we decided we want to do dry January, and that's what this video is about. With my last video, I did it at the end, so I was able to reflect and look at the experience as a whole. But with this one, I kind of wanted to create a video right now to talk about how I'm feeling at the moment, because the finish line's a bit far away still, so maybe some people can relate. So if I felt so good when I wasn't drinking for that 2 months a year back, why did I start drinking again? When you grow up with your teens and in your 20s, your whole life, when it exists around drinking on the weekends and maybe even on the weekdays, you don't really know what else to do. That becomes your hobby. It's also how I would cope with stress. So after we did the video, we ended up moving to the island. We were definitely drinking quite a lot during then. Plus we've met new friends who drink, there's been holidays, birthdays. There's always excuses, always a reason to drink. I guess it was hard too because we've never quit for a month before. So once that goal was over, we figured maybe we could reintroduce alcohol into our lives and be able to not get carried away with it like we had in the past, you know? Okay, so as of right now, I'm 10 days in. I made it through the first weekend, which might not sound like a big deal, but when your Friday and Saturday night comes along and I'm used to getting some beers, that was a big milestone for me. I was very glad to wake up on Saturday morning and Sunday morning and feel great, energized, wake up without my eyes feeling like they're made of sandpaper. Like, I don't even read when I'm drinking, you know? I'd rather just watch YouTube or shows at the nighttime. I lose all my creativity and I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm just so used to settling in with a glass of wine or a beer. That was my joy. So far, my brain doesn't really feel much better yet. I'm 11 days in. My energy is still low. I will say my brain feels better knowing that it's not poisoning itself. So that's a small win, but I'm definitely feeling kind of spacey, like I'm kind of out of it. Like my eyes unfocus a lot and I'm just kind of daydreaming a bit through life. My mood seems more stable. Like when the kids are up at night past their bedtimes, I'm not angry, but my mood still isn't great. It's getting there. It's getting better. It's improving. That first week was pretty rough, just as far as drying out and just not wanting to really do much. But now the light is starting to shine a little bit. It's starting to get excited again. My mindfulness is starting to return and stay front and center, and that's important because then I start to appreciate and notice the little things that make life beautiful and fun. My sleeps haven't got good yet. I kind of hoped that they would. That first week was really bad. I'd still be waking up to use the bathroom, you know, in the middle of the night at 3 or 4 in the morning. That seems to have stopped at around day 8. So I'm not waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore, which is nice. And then, like I said, on day 9, I picked up my book and I started reading before bed. And that really seems to help me sleep much better. So I'm really enjoying the reading. The cravings haven't been too bad yet. I think maybe the first week was a little bit easy because we drank a lot on New Year's and felt like garbage. So for that first week, didn't really feel like drinking. Getting through that first weekend was tough. But on the 9th, in the afternoon, that was a hard one to get through, I'm not gonna lie. But I had some bubbly water, mixed it with some pop, and it got me through it. Once I got through the craving, I got a little bit of pride that I managed to get through it and it felt good. And what was really interesting for me was that almost my entire adult life, I haven't really had a sweet tooth. And I guess it makes sense because the alcohol, the beer and the wine, I mean, has a lot of sugar in it. It's pretty sweet. So now that I've stopped drinking, my sweet tooth is returning, a natural sweet tooth, which is, again, odd for me because I don't usually crave chocolate or pop. I never drink soft drinks, but I'll share one with my daughter and it tastes delicious. So that's kind of cool. It's neat to look forward to eating and having things besides alcohol, because usually just that's my treat. The kids want cake or chocolate or ice cream. I just want to drink. Overall, still my diet isn't great because since I'm not drinking, I'm trying to reward myself with some tasty foods, things that maybe aren't as good for my body. So I'm looking forward to my energy getting better, but I imagine that'll go hand in hand with the food that I'm eating. So hopefully over the next week or so, I can start being a little more mindful of what I'm eating. Because I have noticed that my digestion is much better. Usually when I'm drinking, I'm not processing food as well as I would like. Now things are moving again and they feel a lot better. You know what sucks and what's weird? It's like when you quit drinking or stop drinking, when you start doing something to try and better yourself, weird ailments start coming out. It's like, what the heck, buddy? I'm trying to do you a favor here and you're giving me dry skin or you're giving me weird pains that I never had while I'm drinking. It's hard not to think that drinking keeps you together, and then when you stop, you're like, oh, I'm starting to fall apart now. That's a little bit frustrating. As far as my mind goes, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but especially when I'm drinking, I worry about the dumbest stuff. Seriously, just my thoughts, they're front and center in my mind, they take over. I get anxiety about just the stupidest, smallest things. That's starting to clear up a little bit. After about a week, maybe 8 days in, I'm at least able to notice those thoughts that are negative and identify them for what they are and move past them and realize that that's not me. My curiosity hasn't fully returned yet, but it's getting there. I remember from last time when I removed alcohol that I noticed towards the end of the month, I really started gaining that curiosity back about life, the enthusiasm for life, about learning, about doing things besides drinking. See, I'm thinking the reason that I'm doing this and what I'm really working on is, I think, like a non-drinker, when you remove the thought of having a drink later, when you have that thought, even if it's Monday and you know you're not going to drink throughout the week until you get to Friday night, you're going to get a bottle of wine or some beers, that thought, knowing that you're going to be getting it later, even though you may or may not be aware of it, it means that you're going to feel better once you have that drink on Friday, which means that right now, if you know that you're going to feel better later when you get that drink, that means you can't possibly be happy and content in the moment. I guess what I'm saying is I'm learning, for me, the secret to a good life is that feeling when you know that you're going to have a drink later and you're going to feel good, that feeling that you have after you have that drink, I want that feeling all the time. That's why I'm doing this. That's what I'm working towards. And I think you can do it. I think you can have that. It just takes discipline. And when you've got that addict brain, when you're so used to drinking all the time and that being your happy place, as long as those thoughts are there where you're like, when am I going to get that next drink? I should make sure I have alcohol in the house for when that craving comes. You're never going to be happy or content. Yesterday, actually I was on day 9. When I started getting a little bit more energy back, I put the winter tires on the car. I feel like once you start drying out a little bit, all those little projects on the back burners, you start checking them off. Like, I feel like when you're drinking alcohol, you're reactive. You know, you'll put out fires, you'll do things in life, you'll clean your house, you'll do all those things as you need to do them, but you're not getting ahead of them. Whereas now that I've removed drinking and I have more energy and time, I'm being proactive and I'm trying to do those things before they happen so that I can just kind of enjoy the moment and go with the flow. But geez, it's hard, isn't it? Marketing and peer pressure and habit. It's hard not to have that drink. Like when I meet up with friends or my family, most of the time we'll have drinks. That's a hard thing to move away from. It's a hard habit to change. I'm not saying I'm going to quit forever, but I think taking breaks once in a while is important. I think it's good for our wallets. I think it's good for the calories. I think it's good for our bodies to take a break from processing alcohol once in a while and to know that we're in control. It's when it's Tuesday at 4 p.m. and you're getting a little angry so you need a drink to relax, that's when it starts getting a bit of a problem, you know? A glass of wine with dinner is fine, but when it's Thursday and you're pouring that third fat glass of wine just because it tastes and feels so good, that's when it becomes a bit of a problem. At least for me. I think taking breaks like this it's good for the soul. There's so much to do in life other than to drink. But when you're in that trap, that alcohol trap, it's very hard to see that and hard to escape it. It's like we're a horse with that carrot dangling right in front of us, that carrot being alcohol, and as long as that's there, you don't see anything else other than the alcohol that's in front of you. I'm doing this video for myself and for anybody else out there who just maybe needs a reminder that life outside the alcohol trap is beautiful. Once you remove that voice, that powerfully loud voice in your head that's telling you to have a drink or to get the alcohol ready later, once you learn how to quiet that down, you kind of get your life back a little bit more. You get time back. I hope I get my energy back and my curiosity keeps growing. Doing this video and talking about it feels really good. So if you too are drying out, please let me know down in the comments below what your experience is like. if it's similar to mine at all. The comment section on my last video where I quit drinking was really awesome, so I'm looking forward to chatting more with you. We can help each other out down below. As a reminder, on this channel, I love reviewing and talking about things that make life better. So even though my next video might be talking about meditation or reviewing a vacuum, I also like talking about things like taking breaks from alcohol or caffeine, because maybe sometimes life is better without those things too. Alright, well that's it for today's video. Not feeling 100%. Got a bad headache last night on day 10 for no reason, so we'll see. I'm optimistic that things are going to continue to clear up. I'm going to feel better, but I'm on my way. Did a lot of damage last year, so it's going to take some time, and I'm a little more patient now that I've gone through this before. I'm excited, so knowing that is really helping keeping me going. Alright, in case you missed the video where I stopped drinking for 30 days, check that out here. Otherwise, maybe check out this one next. You know, my channel's been growing quite a bit, and some of my older videos didn't quite get the attention that I thought that they deserved. So with this video, it's just a short, quick one talking about a core exercise that I think would help a lot of people out. Check it out if you haven't already. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Sad Life.